what you were like as a child.
Perfect.
Of course.
In every way. I'd be curious to hear what my mother had to say.
She was a delight, but she was a challenge.
I was a bit rebellious.
And I promised Kathy I wouldn't tell this, so I'm not going to do it. When she was about 4 years old, she had been out playing. She was in her little snowsuit, and I went to look for her, and she was in the bathroom trying to light a cigarette.
I remember in 7th grade, and they were announcing on the PA system the Citizenship Awards for the week, and they announced my name, and you could hear laughter throughout the hallways. So I had a reputation of being kind of silly, but I was friends with many and friends to all.
You're just so pitiful.
She's just a terrific person, and she does so much, and she works really hard, and she strives to make everyone a really, good person, and she always tries to make friends and embarrass her kids meanwhile.
Come on, go get it, Josh.
Well, she's pretty awesome. She gets mad at me sometimes, and her idea of cooking sometimes is sticking stuff in the microwave.
Good job, Josh.
The JCC is really a second home to me, and it has been ever since I walked in as not a member yet, but looking at it and seeing the families. And we had just had Tess, my oldest daughter, and it was just, I don't know what it was. It was just a feeling like people said hello.
Kathy connects to the JCC on so many levels. She's really all about kids, not just her own kids, but she really loves to provide opportunities for kids to grow and thrive. And the JCC has such a broad range of programs that Kathy connects to. And
Rob came up to me one day and said, can we have lunch one day? And I thought he was going to ask if I would just do the video again or ask me for money, one or the two. And when we went out to breakfast, he said, I would like you to be chair of the board. And I said, no. He said, yes, I really want you to be chair of the board. I said, there are so many people much more qualified, much more skilled in business areas than I am. And that was a huge compliment and really life-changing in terms of my relationship with the J.
Culturally, Jewishly, in terms of a focal point in a community, the JCC is such a rich repository for all those things, and it makes perfect sense that someone who values those things would value the JCC, and Kathy's really put her time and her heart into that, really stepped up in a big way, always.
Kathy's had some hard things in her life. She lost a child. She dealt with it. It's taken years. And all I can say is I just admire her courage. She did it herself.
I approached Terry Paul Margocious after the death of our baby. And our families had come together and said that they wanted to put together a statue or some monument to her memory. And we thought that the JCC would be the most fitting place to put that. As it turned out, we couldn't quite come up with a place for a statue. But Terry came up to me and said, would you be interested in putting money towards redoing the baby pool? And we thought about it and said, that's just perfect, because there's no place that symbolizes kids having fun, splashing around, living life than the baby pool. And we thought that that would be one of the most meaningful places for us to put our money into something that we could look at every day and say, we helped these kids be happy and splash around, all in the memory of our daughter who died. Here we are honoring a person that to me personifies children's literature. I'm hugely proud of our family's association with the Literature Prize that's administered through the University of Oklahoma. My dad and his family endowed the prize in honor of my grandmother, and it became known as the Books Abroad Neustadt Prize, which is an international literary prize, and it has since expanded to become the Neustadt International Prize for Literature. And then about 7 years ago, actually through an interaction with Tess, my sisters and I started a children's prize called the NSK Neustadt Prize for Children's Literature.
It's a wonderful, warm, generous person, so generous with her spirit. She will talk to a total stranger with as much attention and love and warmth and interest, because she really is somebody who people gravitate toward. There's not enough of Kathy to go around.
She's just such a warm, positive person and such a good friend, and she's so not stuck on herself. If there's anything about Kathy, she's just so down to earth, and how she likes to spend her time is with friends and family in the out of doors. I don't know how she manages to still be involved in the news media, but she has time for that. And she does a lot of volunteer activity.
She was and maybe is one of the most adventurous people I know.
You know, living in Colorado is a privilege, and I take advantage of it. I love to ski, I love to run, I love to hike, and I love fields filled with wildflowers.
3 seconds to go.
She's a beast. She is so fit and she is so fast. She does it all.
Vivacious. That's definitely the one word to describe Kathy.
I still go in the locker room and I still see my play group in there, and I've made new friends, Jewish, non-Jewish, older, younger, you know, people nursing babies and people talking about colleges for their kids. I mean, I feel like my kids have grown up there and I've grown up there.
Since I have watched her do this all through my childhood, she is pretty big on inspiring me. Like, I want to do stuff like that when I'm older. I want to be that good.
I think it is not because her mother that it's a well-deserved honor.
Kathy's the best.
I do know how important the JCC is to Kathy and what a huge part of her life it is, and how dedicated she is. So I can imagine no one better to be honored than Kathy for this award.
The fact that the JCC has chosen to acknowledge her, I think, speaks very highly for the JCC and the kind of people that they choose to honor and be role models.
Well, I think that's pretty amazing for her to get honored by the JCC, but it's also not a huge surprise because she's a big part of the JCC. So
I am honored, I am touched, and it's truly one of the nicest, most meaningful things that's happened in my life.